I decided to do some work on some helmets since we have a bunch of new people coming out to do foam fighting with the SCA, and we're lacking on having enough loaner helmets. So what I've got here is a lot of helmets that I've collected over the ages from various sports helmets mainly, but some various recreation helmets, mainly Roman ones, that I've used for various youth groups and such like that. We have, this was a design that we were using early on with the SCA, where we take a sports helmet and put a hardware mesh over it. I'll probably make this one usable again by adding some neck protection leather piece underneath it. But my real activity today is over here, where I've got a couple of cheap Roman reproductions. These were helmets that, and the lighting is pretty poor here, that I picked up on eBay a few years ago. It would have been back in 2007. These were 35 bucks a piece, so no big deal. I happened to get a couple of matching, these are Cooper VL50 face guards off of old hockey masks, and it looks like this size face guard will work really nicely with this reproduction helmet. It'll slip in there between those ear flaps, and so my goal here today is to color this, probably silver, maybe brass, and drill some holes, mount this up underneath the edge here, add some snap down points back here on the flaps so that you can pull the face guard tight, and then you'll have a good helmet that'll be suitable for using in full body battle gaming. That's battle gaming using foams, but you can hit head to toe, and that's what we've been doing here in the Outlands at the Barony of Unserhofen in the SCA. As I said before, the face grill I'm using is a Cooper VL50. It just happens to fit this particular helmet pretty well. I've got a bunch of different ones that I've collected over the years from different hockey helmets and such. This particular one has the straps are already attached into it. And then in addition, we've got this foam chin piece here. Now I want to spray paint this, and one of the things is spray paint will dissolve styrofoam. So I've prepped this one here, and what I ended up doing was I covered this all with duct tape. This is some camo duct tape I had some left over of. And then I covered these little straps ends with duct tape, because I thought that if they all got painted, that would be kind of rough on the skin on the side of the face. So I'll just let the little edge get painted with it so it's not as noticeable. And we'll paint both sides here just with some spray paint over here on some newspaper. So, all right, I got them all painted with silver spray paint so they look more metallic. The only thing that's a little bit of a nuisance, you can't see it here, is that the nameplates on the back were engraved, or on the chins were engraved, the plastic was, so you can still see that. But so for this project, I decided to screw the face grill on rather than bolt it, or I should say rather than rivet it, because I wanted to be able to take it off. I just went by Ace and I picked up some more hardware for doing this. I got some brass screws for the front, thought that might look nice. I also got some locking washers. So I've marked the holes, but next I'm going to have to use this, whatever this tool is, to pin a little notch in it, so that then once there's a little mark in there, the power drill will catch on the metal, otherwise it's going to slide all over the place. So I'm going to do this next, and then I'm going to drill the holes. So here you can see I've drilled the holes in the top of the helm to mount the face grill on this one. Over here I've actually done the mounting with my screws here. And on the back side you can see there's the nuts that are the aircraft or the lock nuts. And those will need to have some foam padding. I think what I'll do is I'm going to try to pull this leather up around them and put the foam on the inside there so that they'll be kind of squished under like that. Also, I've noticed that these little plates here were designed to keep this cheek guard from going in too far. What I'm thinking I'm going to do, you can see, is I'm going to probably try to bend that plate around so that this thing hooks on it, and that'll hold the cheek guard in at the same time it keeps the face grill from pushing back up and in. So I'll probably do that with a pair of vice grips here in a minute. I'm going to get the holes drilled for these for the snaps next, so you can snap the face guard in place. Alright. Okay, the next thing that I've added is this little snap end here. I just screwed that on there. I need to maybe cut off the excess bolt there so it's not a hazard. But this is from the hockey grill. You can just pull it back and snap it in place to hold it on under there. So that'll then allow for the grill to hold in place. So the next thing I did was I did roll this little flap of metal over the and I've made it have a little cup on one end and kind of folded it in on the other. If we look at how that works with the actual helmet, with the face guard, it comes in and it hooks right in there. Here, where is it? It's so hard to get the angle right. Let's see, there we are. So it's kind of hard to see, it's not quite focusing. There, so it hooks right in there. That'll keep the face grill from coming in too far. I'm going to do that on the other side. Overall, I think it's come out pretty well. There's a nice bit with the ear flaps hooked under there so that they stay closed. You can see how I finished that out on both sides. And then in addition, you can see how the strap pulls back and is hooked onto the back. You know, I'm thinking I might switch this around so it clips underneath, because it looks a little silly coming across the top there. And so I might flip that over. What I'm noticing is I do need to put a piece of padding back here because the chin piece pushes your head back. It needs a padding on this piece of metal here. In addition, I do need to put a little piece of padding over those two nuts there. So I'll be doing that soon. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with the way a cheap Roman helmet came out with a face grill. It's you know, not looking great, but then again, this is a cheap Roman recreation from India for 35 bucks, so not too bad. I've decided I'm going to pad the backside with this 1.5 inch wide open cell foam. That way it will give a lot of cushion, but it'll allow for a lot of different head sizes, because this is going to be a loaner helm when we're down at the SCA fighting tomorrow, so I want to make sure it will fit a bunch of different heads, and by using open cell it can compress to different levels. So good news is I discovered that we have the tripod that can hold my iPhone. So I can actually talk to you and demonstrate things at the same time. So as I said, I was going to cut up this foam. Need about a 4-inch section. The tool to cut open cell foam, always that I use, the electric carving knife, just cuts through it like butter. You can make a relatively straight line. None of that tearing because it's got blades that run both ways. It's the tool of choice. Of course, it helps if you hold it straight. Alright, let me see how this fits. So I've added this new piece of foam that I'm going to use for over the bolts. It's got 2 little holes in it so that the bolts can inset a little bit, and I'm going to put this right up under the forehead. Alright, well, I got the foam in, and there seems to be some question about whether it's going to be too loose side to side, so I'm going to continue looking at foam ideas around the sides. Okay, so I got the side to side thing working pretty good. The problem I see with this helmet is, you know how it's got this flange here? You're going to get a shot coming down this way, and it's just going to go like that. So, you know, I'm still trying to figure out what the workable thing is. This also seems like a big liability. I might just take it off entirely. What really seems to would help is if there was a back piece here. You can also see that my solution for the side-to-side kind of looks silly out here. Well, I've decided they're done and good enough. I've hot glued the front foam in. I've left the back foam loose so different size people can adjust it. Probably going to bring some other thicknesses of foam as well so that people have bigger heads, they can use thinner foam. So we'll see how they do tomorrow at the SCA fighter practice.
Yes, it popped off the shield.
All right, so you're here today with the SCA doing helmeted combat with foam weaponry for the first time. How are you enjoying that?
It's a lot of fun. I'm liking the headshots, I'm liking the foot shots.
And so how's that helmet working out for you?
Pretty well this far.
So, good. Glad to hear it.
Not so much of your tapping feelings, but I think it has to be a little bit more, doesn't it? Sure.
Yeah. The tip on this is kind of squishy, but